Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Friends in Recovery Podcast. I'm Jersey Ed along with Skylar, noontime from Sky. Hey, Sky.
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening, everybody? How you been, Sky?
Good. It's a beautiful day here. I got my morning started good with a nice walk run method, you know, and that's always like a great start because exercise is something I like to neglect, you know?
Yes, exactly. And I see then you made your way over to the coffee shop today.
Yes. And then I had to get a coffee.
I love your background. I love your background. Isn't it cool? Like in recovery, we can be creative now and figure things out. And I was just on a meeting, before we get into our topic, but I was just on one of our Friends in Recovery meetings that I know you're going to talk about in a minute here. Last night, Thursdays is our mental health Thursdays on our Friends in Recovery community meetings. We do 2 a day, 7 days a week, including some extra medical 911s. We do what else do we do?
First
responders, alumni group for all you alumni listening. Family group on Monday nights with Scott and Stacy. So we do some really good groups, you know, and it's something going on at least 2 times a day, if not more, with that. Mm-hmm. But I was on Mental Health Thursdays. I love Mental Health Thursdays with the Friends in Recovery group. So a new meeting with Nikki and Nikki R, and then the nighttime meeting with Beth R. And both of them talk about how mental health and recovery go together. And last night they were talking. Both meetings were about being artistic, being creative. Okay. And I never thought myself as being creative, but you know what? Everything that I heard and read, I read, I write, I can't draw, I dance, I can't dance. You know, it's all being creative. You know,
well, you're willing to be creative.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're open to it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but Scott, give us a little bit about the meetings. I know you have some information when the meetings are and all that, and how people can get a hold of us. And then we'll start the show. We have a good topic today, guys. Listen to this crap that we have to go through first, and then we'll give you the topic. So stay tuned.
So we have a Friends in Recovery Adventures meeting. That is the first Tuesday of every month. That's the planning committee. But the activities itself for Friends in Recovery Adventures, they go on throughout the month. So get with our social media, and that's all listed on there. We have, like Ed said, the daily meetings at 12 and 7, the alumni on Tuesday. And definitely check out the family meeting on Monday. That's a really good meeting as well.
Yes.
Let's see here. What other meetings was there?
The first responders, the 911, medical professionals. We do a whole bunch of little things. But guys, if you go to genesishouse.net and go under connections, you'll see all the links. And then we have a Facebook page. So check us out on Facebook, Friends in Recovery Communities, Instagram, Friends in Recovery Communities. There's Friends in Recovery. What else? Adventures on both of those too. Mm-hmm. So if you subscribe to that, you'll get all that. But here's the cool part. I just got the word yesterday that we are working on a friendsandrecoverycommunity.org website. It should be up within the next couple of weeks. So all that stuff will be over there along with all our podcasts and everything. So all that stuff is kind of going to happen over there. And
Friends and Recovery community, like just the community itself, you know, like the meetings is where it's happening, but there's also a community base where we exchange numbers and we contact each other outside these meetings and to keep tabs of each other. With the alumni program, you know how much that Friends and Recovery community has made it easier for me to help them. Oh, well, hold on. I have someone in the community that would love to give you the number or write you a pen friend, you know,
exactly.
It's great. It really is.
Yeah. So guys, if you're listening to this show, what we're talking about is a basically 12-step meeting, 2 times a week, 7 days a week. from people from all over the United States and other countries get people from too every once in a while. So if you're listening to this in Australia, I think we're kind of popular in other countries too on this podcast. Please join us. Just check the local times, what the difference is. The times are 12 noon Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern time. So all the meetings, you just have to do the math and figure out what time it is. So please join us. So that's enough of plugs for that. But one more thing, guys, here's the important part. We want your sober shout outs. We want your birthdays. We want to know how long you've been sober and a little blurb underneath it. And for that effort that you're going to send us, because we're going to read them on the show, is we're going to give away a $50 gift card this month. That's what we're giving away this month, a $50 Amazon gift card. I need people to start sending in their information to help at friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. That's help at friendsinrecoverypodcast.com, and email that to us, and we'll get your name on there. A few trickle in here and there, but we want to get more, guys. We want more responses. Come on, we get a lot of views for these shows. We get a lot of listens. Just take a minute and send us an email. Your sober date's
important. Like, we want to shout you out. That's a big deal.
Yeah, share it, man. Share it. So that's kind of what's going on. So now that we all got all the business stuff done, Skylar, I was thinking today a topic about living in the past or future tripping, the fear of the future. And I was, because I'm kind of, that's my jam, is living in the future, man. Predicting things. I should have been a freaking what do they call them that reads the ball? A psychic. That's what I should have been. A fortune teller, because that's all I do. I'm getting better at it. I'm definitely getting better at it. And there's this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's just an amazing book to stay in the here and now. He talks about the origins of fear. He talks about the reason why we're living in the future and also living in the past and what it does. And it doesn't give us the right it doesn't give us the time to enjoy this very moment. Like right now, I'm thinking about the next podcast I have to do. And I shouldn't be thinking about this because I need to stay focused on what's going on here, because guys, this moment right now, even you listening to, if you're in your car listening to this, or if you're sitting in a park, or if you're sitting in your living room, or if you're at work listening to this podcast, you're never going to have this moment again to focus on whatever we're talking about. And I'm not just talking about this podcast, but whatever this moment is, or whatever is happening in this moment, is kind of what this book talks about. And also, we can't relive, and I'm just giving you a quick summary on this and we can talk about it, but we also can't live in the past, because we can never bring those moments back to life again. We can never have that first kiss, or that first hug, or that first smell of that good food, or whatever it is. We can learn from it, and we can make things better in our now, but we can't sit there and reminisce about, oh my God, I remember when I met my wife and it was so, but that's not now, that's not what's going on. It's the past, so that's super important
for sure.
Yeah. So how does that play in your life, Sky, living in the past and future tripping? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh man. See, I overthink my overthinking. So I can think about the past and the future. But what I'm realizing though is that when I shit shame myself about the past or the future, how does that make me get any better to where I'm trying to go? Like I think about how, when you do, your predictions, when you Nostradamus Ed over there, how much of those predictions really come true, right? Like how many, right? Because 99 of the things I think or overthink don't even come true. So it's like, it more like shit slaps me to snap out of it and get in the present. Cause it's like, that's all we have is these moments, but I struggle with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a crazy statistic about our thoughts. And I bring this up all the time. So 98% of our thoughts are negative. Okay. And we have 2,000 to 3,000 thoughts an hour, 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. Okay. And 98% of those thoughts are negative. It's just how we are. Our brain is made up that way because from the dawn of time, evolution, or Adam and Eve, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, that's when our brain was formed, and we had to protect ourselves from big scary wolves, dinosaurs, eating the apple off the tree, whatever it is. Our brain was formed that way, to be afraid of everything and run from the fear so we could survive. Today, our brain doesn't function that way. You know, I'm in my nice safe house. You're in your nice safe coffee shop. You're not really in a coffee shop, but but you know what I mean. And we don't need to function that way, but our brains function that way all the time, and we live in fear. Well, I know I live in fear. And
definitely.
Fear is,
and it's almost like,
know,
if I'm successful and righteous, then, you know, that's going to make me have a good life. And it's really just a matter of like, I have to be present and in life, like in the moment. But my head, like you said, it's the negative thoughts. I have to be successful. I have to do this. I have to do that, you know.
Yes.
And that, it doesn't measure who we are. As
no,
people,
it doesn't.
You know.
No. And the thing is, you know, I have to be successful. I have to get here. I have to be there. That doesn't give us. So being successful isn't mind fucking ourselves or future tripping about, okay, I'm going to buy that nice car, or I'm going to buy that nice, you know, pair of pants, or get my hair done a certain way. And you keep future tripping. If only I had the nice car, if I only had that nice pair of pants, if I only had that nice watch. We don't have the here and now to figure out how could we get that nice watch, you know, by working harder, by being present, by being in the moment, by being right here, by doing this podcast, you know. And I just future trip for a minute because I'm looking at my book here thinking, what am I going to talk about next? And I said, stop, don't look at the book, concentrate on the topic now. And then I had a couple seconds, I didn't even know what the hell you said. So that's what
Welcome,
future
right?
tripping does, guys. I know.
It's true, right?
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. It really is.
Yeah.
But, so how do you snap out of it, you think? What do you think is the best way you combat it? What does the book suggest? So the book suggests,
I suggest you read the book, The Power of Now. And but there's one part of fear. Now, fear is future tripping, basically, is what they're saying. Fear, because we can't stay in the now, or there's a reason why we don't want to be in the now, that we think of things that we don't have, or think of things that might go wrong, or think of things that might go south. And that drives us. You know, we don't want to be there, but you know, we're concentrating, oh my God, is the house going to fall down? I remember, guys, when I was using, right, a friend of mine, he's in recovery now, Johnny R. He went to a psychic, and this was back in 83, 82. And the Van Halen album, 1994, right? Was that the 1994? Wasn't that a Van Halen album? I'll probably get emails saying, so. No, it wasn't, whatever it was. But whatever it was, the psychic told him in 84 that something was going to happen to him, or something was going to happen to the world. So I took that upon myself, like, oh my God. And he told me this when we were in high school. And I'm thinking like, okay, 1984. Something's going to happen, you know, something's going to be really bad. So that I future tripped for probably about 2 years, waiting for 1984 to come around and not enjoying the moment. But listen, I did drugs.
Well, someone else's fear too. It wasn't even
someone
like
else's fear.
It was someone else that, you know, like they planted that seed and then it grew.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what it could. Yeah. And listen, 94 is gone, what, 20, 30 years now. And I'm still here. You know, so that thought that I had for 2 years never came true. And it wasn't even told to me. It was by some psychic that told my best friend that. I mean, that's how crazy our mind is. But also, Skylar, back then I was drinking too. And, you know, I believed a lot of things. I still believe a lot of shit, but whatever. It's a little different. It
could have been
now.
A justification to keep drinking, you know, like, oh, well, I'm dying in 2 years anyway. So
exactly. So the book does say here about a couple of things that we were just talking about. You can always cope with the present moment, but you cannot cope with something that is only a mind projection. You can't cope with the future. So you can always cope with the present moment. So right now, the book says that we don't have problems. We just have situations. So when we think we have a problem, that's when our mind goes into overdrive. That's when we want to solve it. The mind is a problem solver, no matter what. That's what our minds do, guys. Okay. If we're drinking and drugging, if we need to go get another, you know, bottle of booze or another, you know, 8-ball of Coke, we're problem solving that. Call my dealer, go see or go down to the bar, go drink, whatever it is. So that's always problem solving. But if we're in the future, the mind can't cope with the future because we don't know if it's going to happen. Like we were just talking about the magic ball, the person who's predicting things. The mind doesn't understand that. So the mind's from solving problems to future tripping. Okay, there's a huge difference. Our mind's not capable of predicting the future. It's only can handle situations that are right here and now. And the only situation that we have right here and now is finishing this podcast. There's no other situations or no other problems in my life right now. There isn't. Unless, here's the cool part, unless, say, a hurricane comes by and blows this house down. Now, what happens is your instinctive power goes into play, and you pull yourself out of rubble, you pull yourself out of whatever it is, whatever that situation is, and you move through that problem quickly. I mean, you're not going to stay in a burning building. You're going to get out. That's a problem. That's a thing that you need to, and that's a real problem.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And you pull yourself out of that problem immediately. But when you future trip and we think of stupid shit, and I know in recovery, a lot of people do this. We future trip. That's huge. Is that we live in a problem. And we can't solve it because we're thinking of, okay, this problem is going to turn into, oh my God, I'm going to get a ticket. And then, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to court. And oh my God, I'm going to, this whole 9 yards, you're going to go down this whole rabbit hole where brains weren't designed to do that, And I think us as addicts and alcohol, could we even go further and further down that rabbit hole? Because
the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Simplifying it.
Exactly. How many of you out there sat around, especially the people who did coke? Oh my God, the cops seen me buy the coke. Oh my God, I have the 8 ball in my pocket. I'm locked in my house, and there's so much future tripping going on, especially when you're doing drugs like that and alcohol. You're gonna get. Am I gonna get pulled over because I'm drinking and driving? Yeah, probably you will if you do. So don't fucking do it. But that's kind of what this book was saying, and that's kind of my thoughts on all that. So I could talk forever, Scholar. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know what I've started doing? Writing is good, right? Writing is good.
Yeah.
But I like to help people give back different things, right? So I like when I do the things like write into the clients, right? Like that helps me get out of myself and then also give others. So service is huge because it helps me get out of myself and I ever been so consumed in self and you really think when you go to talk to someone, you're like, oh shit, wow, there's a whole nother world going on outside here because you're so consumed in self and the problem. And I like that because it's a situation versus a problem. I feel like that simplifies it, right? Alone, just the wording of a situation versus a problem. I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot.
You don't have to fix a situation. It's a situation.
You just get through the situation or
you get through it.
Yeah.
A problem. Oh my God, I got this problem.
Now we're in math class.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you don't know how to figure that math class problem out.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're trained as we go through recovery and as we go through our addiction, I feel, Skylar, is that I trained myself to always be fearful and always have a problem because you know what? Oh my God, it covered up a couple things of me being a complete mess, giving me some validity to my mess. Oh my God, this problem I have today, my car broke down and this happened and that happened. Yep. Why did my car break down? Because I spent all my money on drugs and alcohol, because I didn't give a fuck about the car, because I have a 1966 Ford Fusion that leaks oil all over the place and it's 2021 now. You know what I mean?
And you haven't serviced it.
Exactly. So it all stems from me anyways, from the use that I went through, and then the programming of myself of being, the best way to put it is to be the victim. If you're the victim, people don't look at your fucked up life. They only look feel sorry for me, oh yeah, feel sorry. And that's how I used to do. I used to play the victim. So nobody knew the real me, the desperate Ed, the person that was crying for help, the person that needed the drugs, the person that couldn't cope without the alcohol, the person that had all this shit going on. I could put a mask on and hide all that because of that, and that's a lot of fear. That's a lot of fear getting found out,
See, you know what I like too about recovery is it taught me the repetition to do certain things, to become a creature habit. Because you're right, I'm programmed too, so nasty in my head, right? But recovery has combated that in a way and taught me little things. Like when you first get in crisis, what do? Like I usually pick up my phone, call my mom, call Charles, like, you know, like my front row people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And recovery taught me that. Like I did it when I was a kid, but I would call my mom and play victim. It wasn't like, what do I do?
Yes.
It was, oh my God, look what happened to me. Feel bad. Mom, get me out of this. Now it's like, yo, I'm in this situation, Mom. You ever been through this? Can you walk me through this? And I don't know what to do here. And like recovery has taught me that. Picking up the phone, repetition.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Well, we change our thought, then we change our world. And you know, and that's what it's about. It's not about doing the bullshit addict stuff anymore. It's about doing the responsible recovery stuff today, you know. And do I play the victim role once in a while? Yeah, because we're human beings, and sometimes I do fall back into that, but it's only a short period of time, you know. And I get out of it, and I'm call my sponsor, and then he tells me cut the shit, and then you know, and then
rebound rate.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like to call it.
The rebound rate. Yeah, I always call it the gaps in between the rebound rate.
When you were using, think about what your rebound rate was, or think about when you first came in the program. I think when I even had 5 years clean, my rebound rate was still so much worse. Like I've gotten so much better, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to remember. We've gotten this armor in recovery that, you know what I mean? We're able to fight back with.
Exactly.
So,
and you got to keep practicing it. You can't just sit back and, you know, okay, well, I have 27 years. I don't have to go to meetings. Bullshit. I got to get on these podcasts. I got to get on, you know, I got to get on the meetings. I have to call my sponsor. I have to listen to the newcomer. I have to listen to the old timer. I have to listen to, here's one thing I always said. I just got off a counseling session with my therapist a little while ago. And I told him, I said, he goes, you know, am I talking too much? I said, no. I said, I like learning from you. You know, I like learning. I said, if I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I'm completely in the wrong room. I need to keep learning because you know, and what does it have to do with fear of living in the past? It has a lot to do with it. It you know, it keeps me from living in the past and wanting, you know, oh my God, I want my wife back. Oh my God, I want this back. Oh my God, I want my kids to be young again. No, that's not how life goes. I have to live in this very moment. I have to live in this very time. And that's what recovery teaches us. What is it? Time takes time. I mean, we're always pushing forward to get, you know, to go somewhere. No, we have to deal with this time right now. And
podcasts are a huge asset too, like the books and the podcasts. Cause you know, like you're a reader. I'm more like can listen to stuff audio and like the audio books are helpful, but podcasts, like, you know, how many times I throw in Sober Pod or Toolbox Tuesday and like, and or Brene Brown has a podcast that she's like putting together and all, whatever. But that helps me keep learning too, because I'm just hearing other people. And you're right. If I'm the smartest person in the room, then I need to do something different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
I got a little experiment here, and I want to run it by you, Skylar. And this is about you know, future tripping thoughts. And when I read this part in the book, I'm thinking to myself, well, what the hell is this? So in this book, it says, try a little experiment. Close your eyes. And I want everybody to do this. Try this little experiment. Close your eyes and say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Then become very alert and wait for the next thought. Be like a cat watching a mouse hole. Wait through what thought is going to come out of this mouse hole. We're going to try that now. I want you guys to close your eyes and see what the next future tripping thought is going to be. Okay, for sake of time here, I did go a little bit longer. I went about 3 minutes without a thought in my mind, without a future tripping thought in my mind. And then I almost had to kind of force it. It says, well, I had to wait quite a long time before a thought came through. And the reason being is that because if we're in the present moment, when we're in the present moment and we're trying to force ourselves, you know, we're thinking of something, our mind won't go there. But the minute that we just let ourselves go, or you know, the present moment is, okay, what thought do I have in my mind? I kept saying in my mind, what thought do I have in my mind? What's going to be my thought? What's going to be? Nothing came up. I mean, we did it for like 25, 30 seconds. To me, nothing came up. How about you? Did anything come up?
Yeah, no, not much. Like, all right, what am I going to do next? Like action. I was thinking about behavior, like, what am I doing next? But like, it really wasn't.
No future tripping, right?
No, it was just
I
like,
know.
okay, what do I do now?
It's crazy. I know. It's like,
I like the mouse thing because that actually gave me something to focus on visually, like in my eyes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And then there's no thoughts that pop up. So here's what we were talking about before is that we can only have one thought in our mind, and we get one thought in our mind at a time. Okay. One at a time. And we have 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day that are negative. And most of our thoughts, 98% of our thoughts are negative. So we're having one thought beat ourselves up in our heads negatively every day, 50 to 60,000 times a day, and that's just not addicts and alcoholics. Our numbers are probably higher because we're so fucked up, that we just go off, you know what I mean? We go down, the meaning of the rabbit hole is, like how far do you go down that rabbit hole? And the meaning to that is I always listen to what's a rabbit hole, but I finally figured it out is that, you jump into the hole, but then how deeper do you go? And not, metaphorically being, okay, so let's jump into the hole of, I had some stomach issues, and believe me, I went down a whole rabbit hole. Skylar, you and I went, camping together a couple weeks ago, Memorial Day weekend, and I had some stomach issues from, some stuff. And I sat there and I went down every rabbit hole. Oh my God, is it cancer? Oh my God, is it this? Oh my God, what if it's that? Oh my, I went so far down the rabbit hole that when I talked to my doctor 10 days later, he said, you got some inflammation because I went for a CT scan. You got inflammation. So you got some inflammation in there because of the antibiotics. And I want you to get in for a colonoscopy just to see what else is going on, if there's anything going on. Now, he didn't say, and that's 6 weeks from now. This guy didn't say anything about coming today because, we got to blast you with radiation and get you on, steroids and this and that. He didn't say that. Is there a chance of it? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Could be. But the rabbit hole that I went down, well, I passed the core to fucking earth about it, So that's kind of how that goes. So any closing words here, Skylar? I know we went over a little bit, but that's okay. I think this is a really good show, and I
want to check out this book. I really like that exercise because it's really informative, because I never thought about that. Like that.
Yeah.
That is
and
really
there's a lot of good. It's called The Power of Now, because I got my background on it. This is it here. If you guys can see it, by Eckhart Tolle. It's a really good book, guys. It really is. I really suggest it. This is a really good recovery book too. I don't always read recovery books, but this is definitely one that I would really recommend, is the Power of Now. And it's,
I think so many addicts and alcoholics can relate to that, because we all have that thinking pattern of the negativity, even more so, like you said. So that's why I think The Power Now will be so great.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you read it, send us an email at help@friendsandrecoverypodcast.com. Or if you read it, let us know your thoughts on this, and let us know if we're spot on this show about this book, or about the future tripping. Yeah. Teach us, please. Yeah. We're not the smartest people in the room. We're not. We want to keep growing and keep learning. And also about the past, what's your thoughts on it? Send us an email. We'll read the emails on the air, and we'll definitely. And then even if you send us an email about that, I'll still enter you in the contest, even if you don't put your sobriety date on there as shout out.
There you go.
So, anything else, Sky, on any of this? Because we could talk forever, but
I know, right? That's it. I think that's it. But to be continued.
Exactly, to be continued. But I do want to talk about my favorite podcast that you spoke about before, is Carl, Ellen, and Chelsea. And they have a wonderful podcast called Sober Pod, and they love us. They constantly plug us. They constantly talk about us. Not constantly, but they throw a plug in here.
They crack me up too. Like when I'm listening to their podcast, like I can get so engulfed in the subject and like really focus on it, but then they make me laugh, or I'm like, okay, seriously, I don't take myself so serious. I'm still human.
Exactly.
And that's why I love their podcast. They remind me, like they keep me grounded with that aspect.
They do. Yeah, guys, check out SoberPod. If you just Google SoberPod, they do have a Facebook page too. So go on their Facebook page. There's always good stuff being posted on there. And they do have a website, soberpod.com, I believe it is. And they have a members only page where you can sign up. I think it's $5 a month or something. And you can get access to different stuff like that. So please check out SoberPod. It's soberpod.com, SoberPod, their podcast, and tell them that Friends in Recovery sent you. So on that, Sky, another good show. thank you for your time today. And I know you're in that busy coffee shop back there, so I'll let you get back to all that. So
I'm gonna get my latte now.
yeah, you go. Yeah, it's probably getting cold. So
Yeah.
all right, Sky, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next time. Everybody stay sober.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Since 1992, Genesis House has been helping real people heal from addiction on their private recovery campus in beautiful Palm Beach County, Florida. Their family-owned program is accredited by the Joint Commission and offers detox and dual diagnosis treatment in a comfortable and confidential setting. At Genesis House, they focus on treating the underlying causes of addiction. Their comprehensive approach includes psychiatric care, individual and small group therapy, trauma healing techniques, and holistic care including yoga, massage, and animal-assisted therapy. After treatment, their clients enjoy the lifelong support of a nationwide network of Genesis House alumni. Call Genesis House today at 1-800-737-0933 to speak with someone who understands. Visit them on the web at www.genesishouse.net. It's time to start your journey to a long and successful recovery.